My name is Zoe Jaspers. I use they, them pronouns. Yeah, so I have, I guess, a very non-standard faith journey. Not that I think that there's a whole lot of queer folks that have very standard faith journeys. And so I have the very unique journey of coming out as queer before I came out as Christian. um, and it was in high school through the youth group that my friends started inviting me and kind of went that way. And I started taking these cautious steps in of like, okay, people I care about are here. I ended up going to Gonzaga, a Catholic university. Had not a lot of understanding of what Catholic meant until I was there, but I wanted a school that had a faith component. And was really afraid of campus ministry the first 2 years. I would barely step foot in there. And all it took was a campus minister who said, we want you, we want your perspective. Like, you're welcome here. And it was like a switch was flipped. I moved into campus ministry. I was there anytime it was open and I wasn't in class. One of the priests asked me once if I ever went to class. And I said, yes, Father Brian, I do, but when I'm not, I'm here. And it's been, and it's just continually led me deeper into trusting where the path leads. And it just, the deeper I get into it, the more joy and the more I see that this is truth. And my faith only has grown the more I have embraced my queerness, and I really can't separate the two. I care about a community that cares, and I care about a community that wants to know me and wants to know how this experience informs my faith, and wants to know, what perspective that brings, and wants to celebrate the gifts that it brings, because my gifts in ministry can't be separated from my queerness. And to get to invite folks into curiosity with that with me has been such a gift, and continued opening of that community is to see, members of our congregation that you might not always expect to be open, might not always expect to be interested, who start asking me questions about, my medication, and how do I feel on it, and how am I, they check in, they want to know how I'm getting to experience joy in the changes, and how they can be understanding of what's going on with me and how I'm changing through this process. And I think that's really the gift, is getting to invite folks into that part of my life, and having communities that are willing to learn and willing to celebrate that with me, and willing to trust my joy, and willing to trust my understanding of where I'm coming from and where the Spirit has been in this journey. And yeah, I'm just really grateful that I have been blessed to know that in my communities. I mean, I think what that comes down to is, trust that voice. Trust that small voice that says, who you are. Because in my experience of queerness, and especially of gender, it's as much a vocation as it is anything. And that voice is going to stay there, and that voice is going to keep talking. And that voice is God. That voice is the Spirit calling, and answering that call, and taking those first brave steps is a gift that opens up a whole new world, and it opens up such immense freedom and such immense peace, and that makes it no less scary. But I think the gift that we are given is that we can do scary things when we come in with a determination of, we know how the Spirit moves, we are closed to the stirrings that happen. But when we are open to surprise, and we allow ourselves to be curious about experiences that aren't our own, and this goes far beyond queerness, but to be curious just gives so many opportunities to be surprised, so many opportunities for joy, for community, for solidarity. And I think that's where justice comes in. I think that that's where we're in such a turbulent time right now, where trans folks are being targeted and being put at risk. But I think in my life that there is still no question about being visible, and there is no question about living my joy publicly, and that is because it is what the Spirit calls me to do, and there is no response but yes. And yeah, I think it just comes down to it's not like I woke up one morning and I said, yes, I'm going to choose to be trans. It was one evening and I woke up to the fact that I have been trans forever and just did not realize it, did not have the language to articulate it. It is a call that has been there my entire life. And it's a call that has shifted and transformed and hasn't looked the same in every season. But it is no less a call and no less a consistent call and no less a call that I can only say has come from the Spirit, because it has been so entwined with my experience of call to ministry, and the good fruit of those comes so entwined that I really can't question that they're both from God. Whether someone is queer, is trans or not, we are all taking part in who we are in conversation with God every day. And it's just a matter of the way that looks. And so, may we each embrace our becoming, and may we each be curious about the becoming of